Okay. The next color harmony we're going to talk about is complementary. Complementary colors are going to be your opposite colors. So, opuesto. So, if you look at the color wheel, what color is opposite from yellow on the color wheel? Violet. These are opposite colors. So that means they have the highest contrast between each other. So if you put those two colors next to each other, they're going to stand out the most because they are the most different. Okay, so that would be one example that you can put down here. Okay, then what is another example? What is the opposite color of green? Okay, look here. Here's green. If you split the color wheel in half, what color is directly across from green? Azil, what do you think? Red, yes. Red and green are opposite colors. What do you guys think of when you think of red and green? Cutter, what do you think of when you think of red and green? Grass. What about red? Two colors together, what do you think of? Yeah. Christmas colors, right? A lot of people think of Christmas. What other things are red and green that you think of? What sports teams are red and green? Yeah, the Minnesota Wild are red and green. Okay, back up to yellow and purple. What do you guys think of when you think of yellow and purple? It's like, I swear, what everyone thinks of when you think of red and purple together. What is it? Huh? You guys are so quiet. What do you think of when you think of red or purple and yellow? Carlos, what do you think of? Purple and yellow. Yeah, the Vikings. You don't have to like the Vikings to think of purple and yellow, right? Everyone thinks of the Vikings. All right, last one that you guys should memorize. Blue. And what? What's the opposite color of blue? Orange. Thank you for answering my questions. So blue and orange. What do you think of when you think of blue and orange? The sky. The sun in the sky. Denver Broncos. That's how I remembered it. Denver Broncos. So you guys remember it however you can, however you want to. But I remember with Christmas colors for red and green. I also remember blue and orange by thinking of the Denver Broncos. So remember, complementary colors are opposite, but opposites attract. So they're good for each other. They look good together. They help each other stand out from each other. So it's really good for like advertisements and text, sports teams, their jerseys, their logos. These colors are very easy to read next to each other because they're so different. It's like putting black words on a white background. That's going to be the easiest to read. If you put red letters on an orange background, you're not going to be able to read that very well. So complementary color schemes are really good for placing next to each other when you want things to really stand out. Yeah. I have some. Thanks for asking. All right, I'm going to write this definition up on the board. Opposite colors on the color wheel. Put your phone away, please. Not gonna ask again. All right, last one we're gonna talk about, or write definitions for, is split complementary. So split complementary is kind of just like complementary, except instead of just two colors, it will split. So for yellow, instead of just going to violet, it's going to split, and it's going to go to the two colors on each side of violet. So for example, a split complementary color scheme would be yellow, red violet, and violet. Okay, so it's still yellow and violet, but instead of just one violet, we have all three violets. Okay, so we have more colors, more variety. Okay, so I'll give you one more example, and then I'm going to ask the class who can give me another example. So be prepared to answer. Okay, so another example would be, I know that blue and orange are opposite colors. They're complementary. So instead of just complementary, I want split complementary. I'm going to do blue with yellow orange, orange, and red orange. So I have all three of the oranges instead of just orange. Okay, and it can go the other way too. Okay, so what is one more example? Who wants to volunteer? Raise your hand. Who can tell me an example? Yes. Yes, red, green, yellow green, and blue green. So red with all three of the greens because red and green are complementary colors. Good job. Okay, so let's just pick one example. We can do red with the greens. So we're going to do red. Okay, and then Kennedy said that we're going to be doing blue-green and yellow-green. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to mix my colors on my palette because that's how I prefer to do it. Add some green, add some yellow, and I have a little bit of blue-green there. Let's make a little bit more. So I'm just going to get a little bit of water on my paintbrush. I don't want a lot of water, I just need my paintbrush to be wet. And I'm going to pick up some yellow marker and just a little bit of green and paint my yellow-green color. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. I want to make sure it doesn't look like green, so I'm adding a little bit more yellow. And then some blue-green. So these colors still have really high contrast next to each other, which means they're very different. They're very opposite still. But you just have a little bit more of a variety. You have more colors to choose from instead of just the two complementary colors. Okay, and then I'm going to label these. I forgot to label these over here. Green, red, blue, orange, violet, yellow. Red, yellow, green, blue, green. All right, who else can give me an example of a split complementary color scheme? You can start out with any color. Lucy, what color should we do here? Any color. Whatever color you want. Blue? Okay. Let's start with blue. Julio, what is the opposite color of blue? Oh, here. Orange. Yes, orange. So instead of just doing orange, here, instead of just going to orange, what color are we going to do for a split complementary? Eloy, what do you think? We have blue. What colors go with blue? Orange is the complementary color, but what are the split complementary colors? Yes, yellow orange and red orange. So we're going to do these two colors with our blue. So again, I'm going to mix my colors, my red orange and my yellow orange. Make sure you wash your brush really well from the previous colors. And whatever colors you guys decide to use for your examples, just make sure you label them in your notes. Okay, my red orange, now I'm going to do yellow orange. right, so we have blue, red, orange, and yellow orange. Okay, there's one more thing that I want you guys to do. Yesterday, I had you guys do this marker practice, and I had you rip it out of your sketchbook. So if you have room on this page, I want you guys to use this page because this paper is still wet, so we're going to set that aside. If you don't have a loose sketchbook page, you can just rip another page out, but you should have this one from yesterday. Another option you guys can do is open your sketchbook so that this stuff can dry, and then you can just use this page next to it. But if you have stuff on the back of that page, don't use it because we're going to cut this out. We're going to practice one more thing. We're going to practice, mixing complementary colors to get neutral colors. Alright, so I'm not going to leave you guys alone. Who can give me an example of a complementary color scheme? Red and green. Thank you, Cutter. Okay, I'm going to color a little bit of red. I'm going to leave a space in between and then color a little bit of green. And you guys are going to use a wet brush to mix those colors together. And see that it makes a brown. If it looks too red, add a little bit more green. If it looks too green, add a little bit more red. There you go. So red plus green equals brown. Is it more of a grayish? So it's going to create a neutral color, and depending on like the brand of markers or the brand of paint, the kind of paint that you use, it's going to make a different brown. Some of them are like more warmer browns, some of them are more like grayish browns. But different sets of complementary colors make different kinds of neutral colors. So let's mix another set of complementary colors. What's another set of complementary colors, Azil? Two complementary colors. Opposites, remember. Huh? Blue and orange, yes. So I'm gonna do a little bit of blue, leave a little space, a little bit of orange. Grab some clean water. Make sure you wash your brush. I'm trying to pull a little bit of that orange back into here because my brown looks really bluish. Okay, so this is more of like a yellowish brown. Or, I don't know. Adding a little bit more water. It's like a greenish brown, isn't it? Add a little bit more orange over here so I can see it for the purpose of my notes. It does look like coffee, actually. Okay, so blue plus orange equals brown. All right, what is one more set of complementary colors, Aubrey? Yellow and purple. Good job, Cutter. Okay, some yellow. I would prefer you guys just to blurt out the answer so I don't have to call on people, because I hate calling on people. It makes me feel bad. But also, I hate that you guys don't respond to me. It's just a sweeper outside. All right, I'm gonna pull my yellow over first because it's the lighter color and I don't want it to get lost with the purple. Usually purple and yellow will make like more of a grayish brown with paint, but with marker, looks like it does a little bit different. And you guys can experiment with doing other colors as well. So I have a lot of colors on my paint palette. I'm going to pick up some of this blue-green color. I'm going to paint some blue-green. I'm going to wash my brush. And then I'm going to take some red-orange, because red is the opposite of green, orange is the opposite of blue, and I just painted a blue-green color, so I know the opposite of that blue-green color is red-orange. So I'm going to see what kind of brown the tertiary colors make together. Let's see. All right. It is different. Each set of complementary colors is making a different sort of neutral color. Alright, so once you guys have practiced some different neutrals, make sure you label them, and then we are done taking our notes on color. And then you guys are going to set your stuff aside. You don't have to clean up quite yet, but I'm going to pull up the daily agenda and just go over what else we're going to be doing today and kind of this week.